I wanted to make a quick video to go over some more confirmations I've received over the last few days. Um, I didn't initially post this dream because I honestly did not understand the meaning. I didn't really delve into it very deeply, but now it's like pretty cool what I found. So the dream was this person that I know, Darby Irving. She's just an acquaintance, only someone that I've seen a couple times. And she was with me and this guy, Jonathan. And it felt like they were kind of together, like a couple, but they're not in real life. And we were in a locker room and we were getting prepared to go out, like we were going to go out to party or something. And she was, um, what I would say, high, like she was definitely on something, and apparently her sister had given her something so that she was going to go out to party, but she was like really um just very happy and like ready to go out. But I was a little concerned, and the guy Jonathan was a little concerned as well. But we were going to go anyway, and we would just take care of her. So that part I don't understand. Um, but I did the usual thing, looked at her birthday, look at her uh, name meaning, stuff like that. But it occurred to me to see if there was anybody, that had written anything about um, the Bible and stuff. And I mean, I'm pretty new to this, so I Googled Darby Bible, and then I'm like, oh, that's like an actual person that, um, has their own version of the Bible. Okay, so I started looking into him, and then I see that he was actually one of the first people to really, relay the message of the pre-tribulation rapture, which I really didn't know. Many authors maintain that the pre-tribulation rapture doctrine originated in the 18th century with Puritan preachers, Increase and Cotton Mather, and was then popularized in the 1830s by John Darby. So that's him. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. Because I honestly did not know this name. I know I've read this page, but there's also a lot of names, so there's no way I remembered that. And so then I started looking, okay, what is Irving? And seriously, like in the same page, Rapture page, the next paragraph, or not even, it's the same paragraph, you find this other Scottish minister, Edward Irving. Dr. Samuel Prideaux Tregelles, a prominent English theologian and biblical scholar, wrote a pamphlet in 1866 tracing the concept of the rapture through the works of John Darby back to Edward Irving. So I was just like, wow, this is, all about the pre-tribulation rapture and how it was popularized. And here I am having a dream about this girl that just happens to have both of those names in, in someone that I know. It's just amazing. And she's just an acquaintance, like, it's pretty amazing. So that was really cool to see. The part about getting high, I was thinking, okay, maybe up in the air. Was that what that was about? But we were a little bit worried about her. Maybe that just has to do with, kind of the panic and the turmoil of the times. I'm not 100% clear on that, but that's just my current interpretation. That same night, I also had a dream, a very quick one, about the Friends cast. I used to watch this show a lot back in the days. Rachel, who is played by Jennifer Aniston, and her name was actually shortened from this Greek word here, anastakassis. And she has a date, and her and her friends all lived on top of a skyscraper next to each other in apartments. And her date was going to come over, and there was a very nice view at the top of the building, but she wasn't going to take him there. Too, there was some ledge or something with the view for some reason. She wasn't going to take him up, but she had a date and he was going to come over. So I thought that was interesting. I looked up Rachel means sheep. Jennifer means the fair one or white enchantress. So I was like, oh, white enchantress. Is that glorified body? Fair one. I know that's what in the Song of Solomon, that's what the bride is referred to as a fair one. And Anastasis is resurrection. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool if she's representing the bride, but she wasn't going to bring people up to her date. And date to me always means appointed time, up to the skyscraper yet. So that day I woke at 4:47 a.m. and in Hebrew, Strong's Hebrew, it's Eliel, which means to whom God is strength. Okay, so that was pretty cool. And in Greek, Strong's, it's to loosen. And I found it interesting, the passages that, the scriptures where this was used. This is Acts where all the doors in the prison, there's an earthquake. And I just did my last video on the pole shift causing earthquakes in the prison. Earthquake in the prison, and the apostles were able to leave because their bands were loosed. Okay, so I think that's God showing strength. He's taking care of them in their mission. Knowing your masters are in heaven, neither is there respect of persons with him. Okay, and then I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. So I just thought it was interesting. It's just about having faith that he's not going to leave or forsake you, loosening your bounds. It's just kind of like the Lord is there with you. So that was the message that I got from that. And then, just knowing that he is your strength. And, this tells me transformation, Rachel, and then the Darby is like, yeah, there's definitely going to be a rapture event. And I'm kind of leaning to what Diana is saying about the transformation happening for the harvest workers. And then on July 22nd, I don't think I had a dream that day, but I did get woken up at 7:04 a.m. This was Saturday morning. I never wake up that early. So, and I looked that up in, where is it? Strong's Greek. It's only mentioned once. A sheep, a lamb. And again, remember, Rachel means sheep as well. So, it's like, okay, there's that sheep again. And I looked up the scripture, and it's in Luke 10, and this is where the Lord appoints, it says just 70 here, but he's referring to 72 because he is already talking about two others. 72, and he sends them 2 by 2 to all these different cities, these disciples. The harvest is truly great, but the laborers are few. Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest, that he would send forth laborers into his harvest. Go your ways, behold, I send you forth as lambs among wolves. So that's the word for the 7:04. So I was like, wow, okay. So I really do think the transformation is just around the corner from all of this. One other thing that I've noticed, I don't really know how I did not see this before. It's on Wikipedia. Um, the very first part in doctrinal history was this um, Francisco Rivera, Catholic Jesuit, he taught that it would happen 45 days before the end of a 3.5 year tribulation. So I know a lot of people think we're like in the middle of it and we just haven't hit the Great Tribulation, and that would start like in September or something. So I just, indulged a bit and subtracted 45 days, which is coming up soon. So who knows? I really don't know much about this person. I think he kind of had an agenda for the church, but you never know. It's just interesting that it's actually there. Moving on. As soon as I posted my video, I saw another video confirming, and this was actually posted around the same time, but this was last year, July 12th, 2006. So I'll play just a really short part of this.
I received this message this morning, July 12th at 4:50 a.m. This is it, my son. The gravitational pull is about to take place. My son, remember when you were little and played with magnets? Yes, Father, I remember. The force will be greater, my son, causing worldwide tilt of the Earth's axis, causing all disturbances of the tectonic plates. This will cause mass hysteria and chaos, during which the rapture of the church will have taken place.
That was Swift Passage. And he actually said he woke up at 4:50 a.m. So the Lord likes to wake me up in meaningful time. So I looked it up, and it means rise, of course. And look at where it's used. 1 Thessalonians 4:16. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first. Very nice confirmation there. So then, because after my pole shift video, I started looking what other people had said, and I noticed that this retired, he's called the Liberty Man, John Moore, retired military man. He teaches like survival skills and stuff. He had posted a pretty lengthy video. And the thing that really caught my attention was the phases. So I'll just play small clips of these.
I refer to what we're living in right now as phase one. Phase one is where normal commerce takes place. We can have our careers, interact with our families and our social events that we normally do, and life appears to be normal. Phase two will be when these earth changes events, abrupt climate change, bizarre weather, earthquakes, tidal waves, all become so numerous that they become daily news. Phase three will be a relatively short period of time. It may be a matter of a few days, maybe a week. It won't be long. At some point, people will realize that things are very strange and very dangerous, and they'll start doing things they normally wouldn't do. Half the people in this country work for small businesses. Many of the owners of those businesses are financially well off that they could lock the door and never go back. They love what they do, and that's why they go to work every day. I've heard a number of people tell me, they say, John, the government doesn't want to create panic. That's why they're concealing this. No, the government's not concerned about panic. What the government's concerned about is business owners making very rational, very logical decisions that I'm locking the door and I'm out of here. No panic whatsoever. That's what they're fearful of, because that would shut down the economy. if enough of them do it. They want to keep these people in the dark as long as possible. Phase 4 will be the end of the world as we know it. Once these oceans come up, the infrastructure that supports normal human activity will be wiped out.
So to me, I mean, that sounds like within phase 2, when these horrible events um, start to become a daily occurrence, tidal waves and earthquakes, um, that would correspond to the transformation and during the harvest, that we will see some things, but to know that we are being protected. And the bride, that is the part of the bride that's helping with the harvest, would be going out and assisting the individuals that are reaching out to the Lord at that time. And then once we get to phase 3, where everybody realizes, something major is going on, that would kind of signal the rapture right before, how he said it, phase 4, the end of life as we know it, the Great Tribulation, when, martial law has to be implemented.